Hello YouTube, this is Mr. Furious with a how-to video for you. I've been saying on a few of my videos that I'm going to show you how to fix bent swords and knives for your action figures, and I just haven't found a moment to do it, but I'm finally deciding to do it now because I just bought this Marvel Legends Series 2 Drax figure, and one of his knives is seriously bent. I'm also going to be fixing this scabbard or sheath of Cobra Commanders that I got a few weeks ago. Alright, well, let's get to it. First thing you're going to need is a pot of boiling water, a bowl full of ice cold water. If you just fill a bowl full of water and then drop a few ice cubes in there. My ice has melted already. And you will also need some tweezers or some type of grabbing tool. I do have tweezers, but I'm deciding to use these tongs because they're made of wood and they transfer less heat. Anyway, you need to bring the water to a not really a boil, just right below a boil. If it's really hot and like a rolling boil, you run the risk of maybe damaging your paint or just if the plastic hits the bottom of the metal, it might melt a bit. So get it right below a boil. Alright, so you need to take your knife, or whatever it is, your sword, gun, whatever, just drop it in there. If your water's not that hot, you need to submerge it for a while, but if it's very hot like mine, right below a boil, you should be able to drop it in, and it'll get, and take it right out almost immediately. It's going to make this plastic really soft, and then we're going to reshape it with our fingers and then drop it in the cold water. Just boom. And you'll see it start to go back to its proper shape when you put it in that hot water, because the plastic has sort of like a plastic memory, if you will. Grab it. See, it's already kind of straight. So anyway, just grab it and straighten it to where you would like it. Then just drop it in that cold water, holding it in the position you want, so keep it kind of tight. So just throw it in there. And really, after a few seconds, it should be pretty hard again, pretty stiff. So as you can see, I mean, that's already straight. But if you want to do it properly, leave it in that cold water for a while. And then even after that, drop it in and leave it in the freezer. Not in the water. Take the plastic out and put it in the freezer by itself. And let it stay like that for a few hours, or preferably overnight. Alright, I'm just going to let that sit in there for a while. I'm going to move on to the scabbard. See, so yeah, I mean, this thing is super bent. Alright, so we got our water at a low, right below a boil. I'm not sure what it's called, the simmer, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm just going to drop this in there with my tongs, let it sit for a minute. This is slightly thicker plastic, so I'm going to let it sit in there for a little while longer. That's also going to be a little bit harder to reshape. But with this, since it has this piece that goes around the chest, that goes around the body, you really don't want to reshape this, or at least I don't, because this one's in good position. So when you dunk it in there, just try to dunk in the part that you want to reshape. Alright, so it's in there. See, it's starting just to straighten out on its own. But this one was in the package real screwed up for quite a while, so I'm going to let that sit in there for a little while more. It's going to be pretty hot when you bring it out too, so just be careful of that. Now, see how flexible that is already? Yep, that needs a little bit more time in the water. It needs to be very soft and flimsy when you take it out of the water. Alright, that looks about good. Alright, so I'm going to grab it, put it into the shape, the proper shape that I want it. You might have to bend it a little bit if it's, if it's really, really bent. Drop it in there, holding it again, always holding it in the shape you want. And when you're holding something like this, since it's a scabbard, and you're going to be putting a sword in there, it's a little bit hollow. You have to hold it perfectly straight. Try not to twist it around with your fingers, because if you twist it, then it's gonna harden twisted, and you're not gonna be able to fit your sword in there. So yeah, I kind of twist it a little bit, but look at that. There you go. That's hard. Again, leave that in there for a few minutes. Preferably take it out and put it in a freezer overnight. But for now, these are both looking pretty good. Much better than they were. Alright, well, I hope you found this helpful. Until next time, keep collecting.